Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tastefully Balanced. I'm Miriam, and for the last pizza in my pizza series for this month, I am making a cauliflower crust pizza. It's all the hype. Cauliflower just seems to be everywhere now, and you can even find cauliflower crust at the grocery store, but I decided I wanted to try making my own version of it. So this is what that's gonna be, and then I'm just gonna top it off with very basic ingredients, just some marinara sauce, some turkey pepperoni, and then some mozzarella cheese. Since we're putting so much effort into the crust, I wanted to make the toppings very simple. So if you guys like pizza recipes, please subscribe and keep watching. All right, welcome back. So the main ingredient for our cauliflower crust pizza is, of course, cauliflower. So what I have in front of me is 2 pounds of cauliflower, or around 8 cups of the florets. I just bought them like this from Costco, but if you get a head of a cauliflower, just make sure after you take out all the florets that it equals to about 2 pounds. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pulse it so that it becomes like riced cauliflower. So do this in batches. Don't try to do it all together because you'll probably overwhelm your food processor. All right. All right, so all of the cauliflower bits have been processed in the food processor, so it should look like this, like little rice cauliflower. And so what I'm gonna do now is steam it for about 5-6 minutes. So I have a pan right here. To that, I'm just gonna add about a cup of water, half a cup of water, not too much, and then add in all of my cauliflower. And what this does is cook the cauliflower a little bit so that we can take out all of the moisture from the cooked cauliflower. That way our pizza crust is nice and crispy. Go ahead and just steam this for, once it comes to a boil, steam it for about 5-6 minutes. All right, so it's been about 5-6 minutes after boiling, and you can see there's a lot of water. I did end up adding about maybe 1.5 cups in total of water, but don't worry about how much water you add because we're gonna squeeze out all of this water at the end anyways. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and put all of this back in my bowl, and I'm gonna let it cool down so I can handle it. So I'll let it come to room temperature, pop it in the fridge, and let it cool down completely before I start getting rid of all the excess water. All right, so I just took my cauliflower out of the fridge. It's completely cooled down at this point. So now I have a cheesecloth in front of me. You can also use a lint-free kitchen towel, but what I'm gonna do is just take, and let me do it on top of another bowl. So just take a little bit of the cauliflower at a time and really squeeze all the water out. And then you just work like this in batches until you have all of the water out. When you open it up, it should be completely dry. So this one probably needs to be squeezed a little bit more, but I'll show you guys after all of it's been squeezed. All right, so I squeezed out all the water out of my cauliflower. Look at all of this. Of course, we did add a little bit water, so that's that. And then, of course, from the cooking. So now my cauliflower is completely dry. I'm gonna add the rest of the ingredients. So I have almond meal here a little bit, which is just finely ground almonds. I've got a cup of mozzarella cheese. This will help to bind it all. Then I've got an egg, which will also help to kind of keep it all together. And then at last I have a little bit of seasoning. So salt and pepper, of course. And then I also am going to add a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder as well. And now just give this all a good mix. And you're gonna get your hands dirty after a little bit, so. All right, so this looks good, nicely mixed. So now I've got my pizza tray in front of me that I'm going to kind of shape this dough into. Now, I will say, although, you know, cauliflower crust is good and you can get it nice and crispy, you're still not gonna get that same kind of chewy texture that you do from regular pizza crust. So this is its own version, but don't try to substitute it for the usual pizza crust. Okay, so let's put this all here, and then I'm just going to shape it. Flatten it out, kind of get it to as circular as you can. Just use your hands for this because anything else will just kind of break the pizza apart, and we need to make sure that it cooks together and binds together really well. All right, so I've spread out my cauliflower crust nice and evenly. So now I'm gonna pop this in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes at 425 degrees. Make sure that it kind of binds all together and has a nice color to it before I add all the topping. But I will show you guys after I bring it out and before I put all of my toppings to it and show you guys what it should look like. All right, so I just took the cauliflower pizza crust out of the oven. It's nice and golden. You can see the edges have a little crisp to them. So that is perfect. I don't want to do it anymore. It took about 14 minutes. So after the 10-minute mark, I just kept checking on it and I just wanted it a little bit more golden. So that's why I just kept letting it go for a little longer. So now I'm going to put my topping. You can do any type of topping you want, but I wanted to keep this pretty simple. So just a store-bought marinara sauce. This is a basil flavored one. Since we worked so hard with the crust, I wanted to keep the toppings fairly easy and simple. So I'm just gonna make this a turkey pepperoni pizza. So if you go to the stores, you can go to probably any store and find turkey pepperoni. We don't eat pork, so turkey is perfect. So spread an even layer of tomato sauce. All right, that looks good. So now I'm just gonna lay out my turkey pepperoni. You can also find beef pepperoni at a lot of places too, but turkey is just a little bit more leaner, which is why I try to stick to turkey. All right, last one. So now I have some mozzarella cheese that I'm just gonna sprinkle on the top. And I'm not going to put too much because that'll totally defeat the purpose of having a healthier crust. So that looks good. And now you're going to pop this back in the oven at 425 for about another, I'd say 10-12 minutes. But definitely check again at the 10-minute mark and see if your cheese is nice and golden. All right, guys, I just pulled this out of the oven and sprinkled some dried parsley on it. It looks awesome. It's nice and golden brown, the cheese. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this open. All right, there you guys go. First slice. It's nice and steaming hot. Okay. Again, it's not going to have the same texture as regular pizza dough, but that onion powder and garlic powder that you add to the cauliflower crust definitely gives a nice good flavor. If you do want to kind of get it a little bit crispier, just keep it in the oven a little bit longer before putting on all the toppings. But this is really good. If you guys want to try cauliflower pizza, you guys definitely have to try this recipe out. If you guys like pizza recipes in general, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, live life tastefully balanced.